Well, okay. Well, I'm level 2 now. So I guess we'll see what else we got. Close to home, Bateron, proprietor of the Drowning Wench, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Right then, let's start you off nice and easy with 3 tasks what'll help you get used to life here in Limsa. First, head down a floor, then point your nose to the west. You'll get an eyeful of the great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetherite, a device that what can move you from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetherite where you want to go, of course. Sometimes there isn't. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard down there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on the workings of the device. Before you do that, though, remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work till you have. Okay, so we're going to touch a big rock. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons and armor and all your venturing bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the aetherite. Don't go throwing your guild around just yet, though, or you'll get fleeced quicker and you can say, "Why's me coin push so light?" Have a word with Swozblate instead. He's the head of the Merchants League, by the way. Give him this old octant and he'll treat you well. For the last and me helpful hints, I suggest you meet some fellow axe wielders at the Marauders Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few tricks for swinging that head splitter of yours if you join their crew. Blauthoda at the front desk is the one you need to get started. Got all that, lass? Seeing to them 3 tasks will take you on a little jaunt round the city and help you work out where everything is. Now, I've best be getting on. Run along, eh? Bugger it, there I go, sending you off without telling you something crucial. That bloody calamity's made a right mess of me memory, I swear. Well, that or the ale. Any road, while you're out, if you happen to pass any poor sods what look like they might need your help, consider giving their tale a woe a listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I admit, but you never know what interesting opportunities could be lurking out there, just waiting for you to stumble on 'em. For example, Ninia over yonder's been casting glances at you since you walked in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say? Aye, you're like to find yourself running on errands in the beginning, but once you build a reputation as a woman folk can trust, the jobs will get harder and the rewards more generous. Will they? As you've the time, I'd also seek the advice of the smith here at the Wench. The lads as bear the title have some fine advice for them what are just starting out in the profession. And that, my girl, is how you go about becoming a legend among adventurers. I think I'm good. I actually do recommend, if you're first starting the game, and especially if you're not really familiar with what's called a Holy Trinity MMO, which just means that we have tanks, healers, and DPS. Going ahead and going to the smith and going through all of the little introductory stuff that they have. I did that the first time I started playing, and that helped me a lot with figuring out how to tank especially, because I decided I wanted to tank, I didn't feel like DPSing. And I still feel that way, which is why I'm starting on Marauder. To leave the Drowning Wench, you must accept the quest, making a name by speaking with Ninia. I think Lominsa is the only one that you have to, accept a quest before they'll let you leave. I don't think the other 2 do that. I'm not sure why that's a thing in Lominsa and not anywhere else. So anyway, I gotta go talk to apparently this lady? I don't think I ever read close enough to find out that she's actually a girl. Not that you can see much under her hood here. Making a name. Ninia a veteran adventurer, has some information that might be of interest to you. Well, would you look at this? A shiny new adventurer. Listen close, lass. I've some information that might just help put you on the map here in Limsa. I was passing through Bulwark Hall below not long ago, and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered around on the ground. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as dream flowers. Oh yeah, I'm sure someone just left those hanging, just sitting around. Limsa Lominsa is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow in across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How'd the plants end up in the mizzenmast? Who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is you make a name for yourself by handing them in. Gotta turn in the weed. Speak to Skeynrail, and she'll get you down to the first floor. Then all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take 'em to Aldskiff, our good old buddy Aldskiff, at the Octant. Being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shady goods. Alright. Skeynrail, can you take me down? Oh, we got a bunny girl. Now we can see all the other players. As is customary in MMOs, you can see everyone else who is playing on the same world, same server. Alright, we've got all the herbs that looked like lavender to me, but... Yes, I'm Aldskiff. You have some herbs you wish me to examine? Yes, as you suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They are the prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. Forgive me, I couldn't resist the jest. These herbs are not more than Althic lavender, a common enough export from Limsa Lominsa. In fact, these probably spilled from the crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. Think someone has been having a bit of fun with you, miss. But not to worry. You've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. Hail and well met. Alright, so we could do side quests. It's kind of interesting sometimes to do side quests. Sometimes you can find ones that have a lot of interesting lore, but the story itself already takes quite a bit of time, so we're probably gonna stick to just doing story and doing the only side quests we'll really do are ones that are necessary or ones that are for doing my job, which is Marauder. Alright, let's touch the rock. Ah, another novice adventurer. I bet on has sent more than a few of your kind this way of late. I'm Sundamal, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Etherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Etherites and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, Any adventurer worth of the name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. You say that, but there's a number of times that I have been playing a new character and I forgot to attune because I'm used to just being attuned to everything. And then I try to go back and I'm not attuned, and basically make sure you're always attuned to the aetherite. It's a pain in the ass otherwise. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. The aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about aetherites or transportation magic, I will be here to answer your questions. I think I'm good. Starting back up, where are we at? Now we'll head on over to Hawker's Alley. Talk to Swozblate. A fine morning to you, madam. Welcome to the most replete marketplace in the grand realm of Eorzea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all four corners of the world. Pray browse the stalls until your eyeballs ache from ogling the overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo but recently arrived at the docks. You bear a gift from Baderon? Whatever could it— Ah, my octant! By the navigator, I must have left it behind in the wench, along with a week's pay and several bells' worth of intoxicated memories. That sounds not great. But here's your octant. I am most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid, and what better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? If it is simple and sturdy adventuring equipment you seek, you need to look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each gil you invest in arms and armor will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying that Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specializing in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. And within but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply all your potion and perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during their sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the type and price of the goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light or your time is short. Ah, but verbal instruction of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. So, as far as the markets go, they mostly have stuff for if you're early on in your game. They will have gear up to level 50, I believe, which is entirely through ARR. Here we go, Battlecraft Supplier. Let's see what this guy's got. So we've got it divided into Disciple of War gear, Disciple of Magic gear, and Disciple of Hand/Land gear. Hand and land gear is referring to gathering and crafting, which I don't know if we'll get into that in these videos, but I've done a lot of that. It is worth, especially for lower levels, if you're going to buy it from this guy. Don't buy it from the market board. They really bring up the prices. But cheapest way to do it is to do your quests, I say, even though I didn't do my quests. Anyway, what we're looking for is Disciple of War gear. Here they've got up through 49. So, In preparation, I'm gonna buy a couple things. I'm not level 5 yet. I'll go ahead and buy some level... Oh, never mind, I don't have any gil. Guess I'll buy some stuff later. Yeah, you start out pretty low on gil, which is unfortunate. I might find a way later to get some gil. Or maybe a mysterious stranger will give me some gil. What's this? A mysterious stranger? Who's shorter than me, for once. And then he disappears. Goodbye, beautiful stranger. If you're wondering what just happened, and if I don't cut it out, that was just my spouse giving me money to make this easier. So now we can go to this guy and actually buy things. Buying this preemptively. Because in a little while we will get someone asking us to have all of our gear at level 5. And we're better off just buying it beforehand so we can immediately continue story. Now when you buy gear, you might notice, looking in your inventory, oh, my gear that I got is not in my inventory. That's because it goes into your armory chest. Wherever it wants to go, I guess. I'm not sure why it got put in there like that. But yeah. Okay. Next place. We're actually going to... That appears to be the Marauders Guild, which is where I will also join the Marauders Guild. We'll go ahead and start the job quest. First, before I move on, using the Ethernet is the quickest way to get around the large cities. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the Ethernet shards. I will probably either cut this or comedically speed it up in some way and like put some silly background music or something to make it more entertaining. And here we are, finally at the Marauders Guild. Let's see what these people have to say. Ho there, adventurer. Curious about the Marauders Guild, are ye? Any axe worth swinging needs 2 hands on the haft and has a blade what can make short work of a galley's mast. That's the kind of weapon our members trained to use with deceptive swiftness and all too predictable force. Are you interested in hearing more, lass? Then why don't I give you the short version of the guild's founding history, and we can go from there. It all started with ships, you see. What have ships got to do with axes, you ask? Well, building them would be pretty bloody difficult without a sturdy tool to lop down trees for timber. And since only the navigator herself knows when a ship will run afoul of a storm or worse, it makes sense for the crew's carpenter to carry an axe on board. I had all started with shipbuilding and ship repair. What, am I boring you? As I was saying, any tool on a ship can become a weapon, and the axe was perfect for hooking yourself over the rail of an enemy vessel, letting loose in a whirl of steel, and generally laying waste to all around you. As more seafarers took up the axe as their weapon of choice, so did the bloody art of the marauder begin to take shape, especially among pirates, where strength and skill decide your place in the world. With an eye to assembling crews of the battle-ready raiders, the pirates started teaching the proper way to wield a chopping blade to their new recruits. And that's how the Marauders Guild first came to be. But once the Gladion Accord was signed to unite the Maelstrom and the pirates against Limsa's enemies, the whole game changed. The Accord itself was a dismal failure, of course, but the Marauders Guild was never the same. It was taken over, restructured, and purged of its pirate elements. It had been... Whoops, I missed some. The members of this new Marauders Guild were no greed-driven cutthroats neither. They were warriors who sought to use their martial prowess for the good of society. Doesn't seem like I missed much. If mastering the axe is your heart's desire, then you'll find no better arena in which to practice your swings. Think it over, then let me know if you fancy joining our ranks. I have a feeling I'll be seeing more of you soon, lass. Well, considering the fact that the only weapon I have right now is, in fact, an axe, we'll go ahead and join. You've decided to swing an axe with the Marauders, then? Yep. Alright then, all that needs doing now is to speak with the Axe Master himself. Sounds simple? I've seen folks slink out the door rather than put themselves in the path of that unnerving gaze. That's the bloke right there in the middle of the room. Warnzone's his name. Put some steel in your spine and look him straight in the eye when you talk to him, lass. Good fortune to ye. Thankfully, he's got a handy quest marker over his head, so we won't get confused. Yes, I'm Warnzone. Axe Master, they call me. Not the most imaginative of titles, I agree, but one should not underestimate the value of directness. I welcome your interest in our guild. The art of the Marauder is used to rend, to cleave, and to destroy. It is not our way to simply outfight our adversaries. We seek to overwhelm them. A Marauder must be the most powerful and enduring presence on the battlefield. We must account for the most enemies defeated. Our role in combat is that of a steel whirlwind, dealing death and destruction without equal. No doubt the question has already been put to you by Blothoda, but once more I shall challenge your commitment. Are you prepared for the bloody carnage that awaits an initiate of the Marauders Guild? Am I prepared for carnage? Sure. Very well. Your name? Attend me well, then, Raspberry. Hold fast to this moment of dedication. The path of the Marauder is a jagged and perilous one. The blood that spills at your feet will ofttimes be your own. You stand now as a student of the axe. Let us waste no time in testing the edge of your chosen weapon. You shall wade straight away into combat as befits a novice of our discipline. Go forth and slay the bleeding, scurrying, crawling pests that plague the outskirts of Limsa Lominsa. Lost lambs, wharf rats, and little ladybugs shall be your piteous adversaries this day. Return to me once 3 of each creature have fallen to your blade. That's a little... Killing lambs seems mean. But I guess that's what I gotta do. To be a marauder. But first, I think we gotta go back to Batteron. We'll go the quick way. Ah, there you are, Raspberry. Enjoy your jaunt round the city, did ya? If you mean to base yourself in Limsa Lominsa, that won't be the last time you'll visit them three places. And now you've got some idea of what's where, you can start exploring the rest of the town. You've shown a good ear for listening, lass. Stick with old Batteron and you'll go far. Yay! Completed the first quest. Only 5 million more to go. I guess I'm not high enough level, which means time to go kill some lobby enemies. Now, part of the use of getting all of the Ethernet shards early when you first get to a town, or a city, that is that now I have access to the gates. I can go straight to Middle Lenosha. And effectively get out of the city from any Ethernet shard. Well, let's get some rats. Combat early on, as you can probably tell, is pretty straightforward. Use the same attack over and over again until you defeat your enemy. You'll take damage along the way, but it heals pretty quickly, especially if you're a tank. As you level up, you'll get more attacks and things will become a lot more complicated. But for now, it's not too bad. Let's see. Got one more ladybug. Worth noting, the early areas will have guys like these mossless gaboos. As you can tell, that is level 12. I am level 3. Don't recommend fighting those. I'm sorry, little lost lamp. Ooh, now I have a second attack. Now things will go quicker. Well, now I've done everything I need to do here. I can report back to Wernzone. Wernzone? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce sea wolf names. So I can hit return. That'll take me back to the big main aetheryte. We can also access the Ethernet from the aetheryte. You are returned to me a different woman. Already your face shows a harder cast, a realization of the slaughter of which you are capable. Yeah, 'cause you made me kill little lambs. But there is much training to be done before you will wield the axe to its fullest potential. Learn well your lessons, build your strength, and make of each swing an instinctive act. You shall have this hunting log to aid you in that endeavor. Its pages are marked with opponents suitable for honing your skills. There are, of course, myriad methods by which you might improve your techniques, but when the way forward is not readily apparent, the log provides a reliable source of challenges. Every blow of your weapon will clear another step towards the mastery of the Marauder way. Implacable, relentless. Such must be your momentum on both the practice grounds and the battlefield. Next quest is available at level 5.